Hello folks, Scott Rowe here once again. Yes, yeah, I never wash the hair, so the do-rag is my look 90% of the time, so I know you're all concerned with that. Doing a review on another guitar that I got in special. I've been waiting for one of these for many years, and just the right one. Is this the perfect one? Hard to say, but I will get another one, and I will keep this one too because it came along and I didn't know I wanted it until it came along. Anyway, this is, back in the original days, the Fender Stratocaster in the Antigua finish. A-N-T-I-G-U-A. It's not Antigua, it's Antigua. Okay, so you got your 3-bolt jobby from back in the day. Okay, what makes this one so very special is the fact that Fender, we all know they were in Fullerton, California, and then in early '85 they bailed and opened up the Corona factory and all that stuff, and Japan was the only people making guitars from Fender in mass production anyway, from '85 through part of '87 until the Corona factory opened up. The USA factory, which is not a factory, it was just a little shack, was putting out only 1962 and 1957 reissue guitars. I don't like either one, the reissues or the originals. That's why I don't have them. So nothing of any interest there for me. So those were the only two guitars being produced, were the 57 and 62 reissue Strats in a shack in California while we were waiting for the Corona factory. So anyway, the Fullerton factory, right at the very end, so there at the late '84, they were trying to get rid of all the spare parts, all the spare everything they had laying around, and they actually put together a bunch of guitars that should not be put together. You know, these parts, and just parts from another thing, parts from this, parts from that. That's actually what this is, but it is 100% original. Okay, so what we have here is the Strat. Let's show this whole thing to you, and then, you know me, I love to tell the history of the guitar. I can give a rat's ass if you like, if I do play at all or not. I will play eventually, but for those of you who like the really short videos, today's not your day. Skip ahead if you want to hear me play some ragged old cover tune, which is not the point of my videos ever. Anyway, so this guitar is actually a very rare one. I don't know if there's another one that exists or not, like this one. Probably not. Okay, so like I said, once again, this is 100% stock. For collectors out there, it's a very big deal if even one solder joint has ever been touched. So if you've replaced one pickup and then you go to put it back to original later, that does not fly with collectors. They're just so nitpicky and stuff about even if a solder joint has been broken from original. So this one is 100% guaranteed stock. It was very much told to me in great detail before I bought it that, you know, that's the way it was, and I needed pictures of every last thing. So what you have here is the Antigua body is actually from 1979 and sat around at Fender Fullerton since '79 and was never put together and was never sold. So there it laid, just one spare Antigua body from '79 laying around. Okay, so that's all it was, and then they needed to grab it and make a guitar out of it and send it out in 1984. That's when this guitar was assembled. Okay, none of the parts are from 1984, but that's when it was assembled and shipped out before Fender closed down. Okay, so that's how this guitar is. The neck is actually a 1982, and it is stamped one time as 1982 on the very end of the neck where it should be, and it is also stamped 1984, and it's stamped 1984 on a back of the piece of paper that's on the back side of the neck, and that is strictly when the guitar again was assembled and released into the public. Okay, the pickups are these two are the gray bottoms that are dated on the bottom 1980. Okay, so they did actually produce Antigua guitars from '79 through the beginning of 1980, and that was about it. A couple other ones squeaked through, kind of like this one did, but definitely not in '84. So this was probably the one and only Antigua ever actually released in '84, and with all the '84 stamps on it. Okay, so again, the gray bottom, the infamous gray bottom pickups here are dated 1980 on the bottom. This one here is actually from 1982, but it was all assembled at the same time, and the original solder things are there, and no funny business, so that's the first time any of these pickups were ever used. Okay, the bridge is also from 1982. Okay, so the old stuff, like say what would have been, well, you can't see it on my 79 anniversary Strat, but they would have used those ugly little nasty bridges like this. Okay, you can see how the saddles are. That's what would have been used when this guitar was originally made. Then you come along to 1982. Sorry, I'm just grabbing extra stuff to show you. 1982, like my Strato burst here. Okay, this thing, you can see that it's the same neck as this guitar actually has. 82 neck, and superb neck. You'll see the type of maybe saddles. I love trying to do this with the camera. That are used. There you go. In '82. That's where this bridge came from. So it's a 1982 bridge that had never been mounted either. So nothing on this guitar had ever been put on a guitar before. So you have the 79 body, 1980, 1980, 1980 pops, all the way through too, if you code date them. 1982 pickup, 1982 bridge, and the 1982 neck, and then all assembled in 1984 and released upon the world to be the one bastard child it is. Okay, so that's why I got this one, was because of the cool history, and everything 100% checks out and is all notated and documented, blah blah blah. So again, I seek out the ones that everybody hates, and I give them homes. Most people think this finish is ugly as hell. I think it's one of my two favorite finishes ever on a Fender guitar. The other one having been that blue and silver Antigua, blue and silver Strato burst that I just showed you a couple minutes ago. Okay, this is, I don't know, it's kind of a, whatever color you would call that. It's not really gray, it's just looks like an antique thing. These were also released again by Japan in 2003, and they made them, the whole color was wrong. Still a great guitar. The Japanese guitars just kick butt and probably are better than this. But they did the color way wrong. Kind of like when they redid the pink paisley stuff. You know, it's like the pink paisleys in 1968 were actually more gold. They weren't really pink as we know them. But again, Fender messed up. Japan actually screwed up just on the finish, but they did a great guitar when they re-released these in 2003. Then in 2008, Eric Clapton had his own Antigua USA custom shop guitar put out. Okay, so that's kind of what that's all about. A lot of people really hate these finishes, but I think they're gorgeous. The other one I'll be buying will be a 79 hardtail, you know, because I just hate whammy bars with all my heart. But that's what I'll get eventually, because that's what I've been looking for, but just can't find a clean one. So this just superb guitar. And the other thing about it is probably 75% of these all had like the maple fingerboard. 25% being rosewood. Imagine that. That equals 100, folks. So you got a math lesson. Okay, so what's it sound like? It sounds exactly like what it should. It sounds like a combination of everything that it is. So it's actually 1970, 1980, and 1982 are the 3 years of combined parts that Fender put together to produce this guitar for the very first time. People call these a 3-bolt neck, when in all actuality, if you ever look, folks, your guitars don't have bolts in the necks, they have screws in them. But in these cases, these are screws, that is a bolt. Okay, so it actually threads into another piece of metal down there. So people keep saying, hey, I got a 4-bolt neck. No, you don't. You got a 4-screw neck. Okay, here's the Fender micro tilt adjustment thing, which is a beautiful thing. Whenever they quit using that, they were just guitarded. Japan still adds them on. That's just a great way to avoid having to shim your neck and put guitar picks under there or whatever. And guess you just loosen up a screw a little bit until it gets feeling right. While your strings are tight, then tighten it back up and it stays right wherever it should be. So it's a great adjustment that the morons in USA got rid of, but that's the USA for you. I know I keep bashing USA, but what can you do about it these days? They do it to themselves. Okay, let's check out the sound. And again, this thing is in 99% perfect condition. There's no issues with this thing, and it came with the original case and every flipping thing. The old styled Fender tuners, which I think are still the best to this day, and putting them on, just upping those things, way better than any locking tuners ever made. These were just, you don't get cut by nothing, it's stuck down in there. The best tuners ever made as far as I am concerned. If you don't like them, don't use them. That's plain and simple. I'm here just for, again, an opinion. This is not just, hey, everything is just so because Scotty said so. Who am I to tell you what's what other than to offer you an opinion? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go to my favorite position. Bend over, girl. No, not that one. The 2 position, so your 1982 pickup in the bridge and your 1980 gray bottom here in the middle. Clean, lots of reverb. Okay, so here you are. The good old Strat sound. Okay, the other in-between position being both of the 1980 gray bottom, so your neck and your metal. And so those are your in-between positions. If anybody doesn't know, the Strats in these days, and most days, the tone controls are strictly for this pickup. The neck pickup is your middle tone control. Does not affect the middle one. And then if you go into the middle, the next tone control is for it. So even though you are in the middle, here, your 4 position, which are these 2 pickups, your neck and your middle, and you turn that middle tone knob, that is only turning down the tone on the neck pickup. If you are in the 2 position, having the bridge and the middle together, when you turn down that tone knob, it's only changing the tone on this pickup, not this one. There is no tone control, period, for that pickup. Okay, so just a little lesson for you. Okay, so here it is in the bridge position. Okay, so you can get, again, throw a little tiny bit of dirt on it. Throw a little slap back delay. Then I'll throw a compressor on here. Okay, good first song, a band called Restless Heart. And Ricky Skaggs and a whole bunch of other people did a cool song called Hummingbird. Very cool, but this just nails that sound. It's just a gritty old telly type of sound. Gives you just those great old sounds. Go in the middle is something I never use, but here's the middle position. That's Still got kind of the grid on. Which you would probably like with just the neck pickup on. That good old tube overdrive. What's that click? That is the flawed design of actually having open pole pieces on your guitar, okay? And actually my strings are very far away from the pickups, but you push them down like that. That's why the greatest pickup ever invented, folks, was made. That's right, the lace sensors. You'll never have such a thing like that, and you'll never have no noise, and you'll have better tone, blah, blah, blah. So the lace sensors are by far the best pickup that was ever put in a Fender guitar or any guitar. But we're here talking about this one. So, middle pickup back clean without all this stuff. Okay. I don't like it, but there it is. They should have made it like a telly or something where you could actually get a useful tone out of it. But, and then again the neck totally clean. Okay. Okay, so there's your clean sounds. Distorted is just a Strat distorted, nothing more, so what can you say? You can put it through its paces. Let's see, what's something I've never played before? Hell, I never do know when it comes time to do this, but I get tired of playing the same crap, I know that. Let's see. I'm going to play... Hell, I don't know. Hey, Michael Jackson. I've never done no Michael Jackson before. Jackson and Eddie Van Halen. Hey, yeah, I guess it does make sense. Van Halen, yeah, cool stuff. Finish What You Started had a little bit of that cool the cool Eddie Van Hagar sound going on there. So typical, back to the bluesy type of sound. Let's go to just a little bit of dirt. Okay, so that's just basically my clean, and just like I said, a little bit of dirt put on it and go into the neck pickup. You probably never heard of them. I might like you better if we slept together. Cool tune. But anyway, so there you go. That's the guitar. I don't need to show you much more, I don't think. So again, the Johnny Cash of all guitars, got it one piece at a time, but Fender put it together that way. Again, the 1979, 1980 and 1982 guitar released in 1984. Again, all 100% original, untouched, and made this way just so they could empty out the factory of all the parts laying around. Okay, hey, check it out. I passed 15 minutes. Go figure. Okay, so just a cool enough guitar to have to get, and like I said, a cool enough story to go with it, so you all kind of know that Fender was going through a frenzy trying to dump all of their parts right at the end, and everybody's getting all these pawn shop guitars, blah blah blah, that they think weren't ever created but should have been. Guess again, folks, some of that stuff was created and put out on the market but never advertised, again just because Fender was in such a scramble to create monstrosities and toss them out there just so they didn't have any product left to move to the new factory. Okay, so they wanted to go over there clean slate, no more leftover 70s guitars, blah blah blah. So that's the story behind this. Hope you enjoyed it. Welcome to VH1's Behind the Music with Scott Grove. Talk to you later, and hasta la pasta.